This is Hiral Popania. Today we are going to discuss carbohydrate introduction. General introduction of the carbohydrates. The carbohydrates are the most abundant organic molecule in the nature. They are primarily composed of the element that are the carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. In simply, the carbohydrate that is the composed of the elements that is the carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. The name carbohydrate literally means hydrates of carbon. Some of the carbohydrate possess the empirical formula in bracket, that is the CH2O bracket over N, where N that is the less than or equal to 3, that satisfying that these carbohydrates are in fact carbohydrates. However, there are several non-carbohydrates compound, that is the acetic acid formula C2H4O2, lactic acid C3H6O3, which also appear as a hydrates of carbon. Further, some of the genuine carbohydrates like rhamnose hexose, that is the C6H12O5 and deoxyribose C5H10O4 do not satisfy the general formula. Hence, carbohydrates cannot be always considered as a hydrates of the carbon. So, the definition of the carbohydrates. Carbohydrates may be defined as polyhydroxyaldehyde or ketones or compounds which produce them on hydrolysis. So, it is defined in the simple term, that is the any polyhydroxyaldehyde or the ketone or compounds which produce them on hydrolysis, they are known as the carbohydrate. The term sugar is applied to carbohydrates that are the soluble in water and sweet in taste. Functions of the carbohydrates. Carbohydrates participate in wide range of the function. They are the most abundant dietary source of energy for all organisms. The first function, that is it is the energy source for the all organisms. Second one, carbohydrates are precursor for many organic compounds. For the production of fats, amino acid, they are the organic compounds. For their production, the carbohydrate required for the precursor one. Then third one, carbohydrates is glycoproteins and glycolipids that are the participant in the structure of cell membrane and cellular functions such as cell growth, adhesion and the fertilization. Carbohydrates, in that specific, they are the glycoproteins and the glycolipids. They are the used for the structure in the cell membrane, then the functions of the cell as well as the cell growth. Next function, they are the structural component of many organisms. These include the fiber of plants, exoskeleton of some insect and cell wall of the microorganism. The function of the carbohydrate, that it is structural component of the organism. Likewise, the cellulose of the plant, then exoskeleton of the insect and the microorganism cell wall. Fifth one, carbohydrates also serve as the storage form of the energy to meet the immediate energy demands of the body. For the storage form of the energy, that is the glycogen. Glycogen, that is the storage form of the energy of carbohydrate, which is useful for the immediate energy demand for the body. So these are the functions of the carbohydrates. Next, the classification of the carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are often referred to as a saccharides. Saccharides, it is a Greek word, that is the saccharon, that means sugar. They are the broadly classified into the three major groups, that are the monosaccharides, polysaccharides, polysaccharides. This categorization is based on the number of sugar units. Mono and the oligosaccharides, they are the sweet to taste and the crystalline in character and soluble in water. Hence, they are commonly known as the sugar. So, when we classify the carbohydrates, they are the majorly classified in the three groups: monosaccharide, oligosaccharide and the polysaccharides. First two, monosaccharide and the oligosaccharides, they are the sweet in taste and the crystalline in the nature as well as the soluble in the water. Monosaccharide and the oligosaccharide also known as the sugars. Monosaccharides. Monosaccharide, in Greek word mono, that means the one, are the simplest group of the carbohydrates and are often referred to as a simple sugars. They have the general formula, that is the CnH2O bracket over N, and they cannot be further hydrolyzed. Mono, that means one, and the saccharides, that means sugar. Monosaccharide means one sugar, so it is the simplest group of the carbohydrate and its general formula, that is the CnH2ON. In the monosaccharide, they cannot be further hydrolyzed. The monosaccharide are divided into different categories based on the functional group and the number of atoms. The carbohydrates, they are categorized in the three category: monosaccharide, oligosaccharide and the polysaccharide, where the monosaccharides, they are further classified into the based on functional group as well as the number of the carbon atoms. First, based on the functional group, aldosis. When the functional group in the monosaccharide is an aldehyde, the aldehyde, that is the CHO, they are the known as the aldoses. Example, the glyceraldehyde and the glucose. The ketosis, when the functional group is a keto group, that is the carbonyl CO, they are referred to as a ketosis. Example, dihydroxyacetone and the fructose. Based on the number of the carbon atoms, the monosaccharides are regarded as the triosis, that is the contain 3 carbon, tetrosis contain 4 carbon, pentosis 5 carbon, hexosis 6 carbon and the heptosis contains the 7 carbon. This term along with the functional group are used while naming the monosaccharide. For instance, glucose is an aldohexose while fructose is a ketohexose. The monosaccharide, they are classified into the two categories based on the functional group and based on the carbon atom numbers. In the based on the functional group, they categorize into two categories: aldosis and the ketosis. Aldosis, the functional group, that is the CHO, that is known as the aldosis. Example, glyceraldehyde and the glucose, whereas ketosis, it contains the keto group. Example, dihydroxyacetone and the fructose. Where in the second category, that is based on the carbon number atom, it is categorized in the 3 carbon, 4 carbon, 5 carbon and the 6 carbon and the 7 carbon. Next, oligosaccharides. Oligosaccharides, that means it is made up of two Greek words, oligo and the saccharides. Oligo, that means few, and the saccharides mean the sugar. Contains the 2 to 10 monosaccharide molecule which are liberated on the hydrolysis. based on the number of the monosaccharide units present, the oligosaccharide are further subdivided to disaccharide and the trisaccharides. The oligosaccharides, they contain the 2 to 10 monosaccharide unit which are the hydrolyzed based on the number of monosaccharide unit. That means the monosaccharide unit contain one monosaccharide, that is known as the disaccharide. Monosaccharide, that is known as the trisaccharides. So oligosaccharides, they are the further divided into the disaccharide, trisaccharide, tetrasaccharides, etc. Next, polysaccharides. In Greek word, that is poly, that means many. They are the polymer of the monosaccharide units with high molecular weight up to a million. That is polysaccharides, meaning of the poly plus saccharide, that is the many sugars. That means polymer of the monosaccharides unit, and they are the high molecular weight. They are usually tasteless and form colloids with the water. In the monosaccharide and the oligosaccharide, we seen that they are the sweet in taste and the crystalline in nature and soluble in water, where the polysaccharides, they are the tasteless, so it is known as the non-sugar, and they form the colloid with the water. They form the colloid solutions in the water. The polysaccharides are of the two types, that is the homopolysaccharides and the heteropolysaccharides. Here are some examples of the monosaccharides and the disaccharides of the biological importance. First, monosaccharides. Monosaccharides in that triosis, tetrosis, pentosis, hexosis and the heptosis. First, triosis. Triosis monosaccharide example, glyceraldehyde and the dihydroxyacetone. Respective there, the occurrence are given in the table, and its biological importance, they are given in the table. Tetrosis, that are the example D-erythrose, that is occurrence, that is the widespread, and its biochemical importance, that is its 4-phosphate is an intermediate in the carbohydrate metabolism. Then the pentosis, its example, that is the D-ribose, deoxyribose and the D-xylose. The D-ribose constituents of the RNA and the nucleotides, whereas the biochemical importance, that is the full structure of the RNA and the nucleotide coenzyme. Hexosis, in that the D-glucose, D-galactose, D-fructose, they are the example of the hexosis sugar. Then heptosis, D-pseudoheptulose, that is the example of the heptosis. Whereas the disaccharides, they are the sucrose, lactose and the maltose. Sucrose, the occurrence of the sucrose, that is a constituents of the cane sugar and the beet sugar and the pineapple. Its biochemical importance, that is the most commonly used table sugar, supplying the calories. Lactose and the maltose also given its occurrence in the biochemical importance in the table form. Next, monosaccharides structural aspects. Stereoisomerism is an important character of the monosaccharides. Stereoisomers are the compounds that have the same structural formula but differ in their spatial configuration. The stereoisomers, that means the compound that have the same structure formula but they are the differ in the configuration. That means asymmetric carbon when it is attached to 4 different atoms of the groups. The possible isomer of that compound that is the 2 raised to n, where n that is the asymmetric carbon number. Example, glucose. Glucose having the 4 carbon, they are the asymmetric carbon. So as per the formula 2 raised to n, where n that is the 4. So 2 raised to 4, that is the 16 isomers. So glucose having the 16 isomers. So in simple term, stereoisomers, that means same structure of formula but differ in the configuration. Next, D and the L isomers. D and the L isomers are the mirror images of each other. The spatial orientation of the H and the OH groups on the carbon atom of C5, that is the carbon number 5 for the glucose, that adjacent to the terminal primary alcohol carbon determines the whether the sugar is D or L isomer. If the alcohol group is on the right side, the sugar is of D series, and if on the left side, it belongs to the L series. In the D and L isomer, they are the mirror images of the each other. Let's see in the structure. This is the structure of the glucose, where glucose having the 6 carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and the 6th one. In the 5th carbon of the glucose, the alcohol group that is on the right side, so it is the known as D glucose, and the left side alcohol group, that is the L glucose. So it is the mirror image to each other, D glucose and the L glucose. So the orientation of the hydrogen and the alcohol group on the carbon atom, that is adjacent to the terminal primary alcohol carbon, determines the D or the L isomer. So understand, that is the D glucose and the L glucose. Right side alcohol group, that is known as D glucose, and left side alcohol group, that is the known as L glucose. It may be noted that naturally occurring monosaccharide in the mammalian tissue are mostly of the D configuration, that is the alcohol group, that is the given in the right side. The enzyme machinery of the cells is specific to metabolize the D series of the monosaccharide. The naturally occurring monosaccharides in the mammalian tissue, they are the most of the D configuration. That means the mammalian tissue, they are the production of the naturally monosaccharides, they are in the D configuration. Reason of that, the production of the only D configuration monosaccharide, that is the enzyme machinery of the cells, is specific to metabolize only the D series of the monosaccharides, not for the L series monosaccharides. So that is the reason why the mammalian tissue, they are the production of mostly D configuration monosaccharides. Next, optical activity. Optical activity, that means when a beam of the polarized light is passed through a solution of an optical isomer, it will be rotated either to the right or the left. The optical activity definition: when the beam of polarized light, when the polarized light passes through the solution of isomer, it will rotate it either in the right side or the left side. In that, the dextrorotatory and the levorotatory. Dextrorotatory, that means rotate the plane of polarized light to the right side. If the polarized light passes through the isomer solution, it rotates to its right side. It is known as the dextrorotatory. When the polarized light passes through the optical isomer solution, it will rotate to the left side. It is known as the levorotatory. Next, racemic mixture. If D and the L isomer, they are in the equal concentration, it is known as the racemic mixture, or also known as the DL mixture. Racemic mixture does not exhibit any optical activity, since the dextro and the levorotatory activities cancel each other. Racemic mixture, that is the D and the L isomer, they are the equal in the concentration. D and the L isomer, they are equal in the concentration in the solution. That is the known as the racemic mixture. There is no any optical activity of the racemic mixture. Next, epimers. If two monosaccharides differ from each other in their configuration around and the single specific carbon atom, epimers, it is known as the if two monosaccharides differ from each other in their configuration around a single specific carbon atom. Single specific carbon atom, in that they are the differ in their configuration. Configuration differ, and the single specific carbon atom, they are the known as the epimers. Example, first, glucose and the galactose. Glucose and the galactose, they are the epimers with the carbon number 4. Let's see, 1, 2, 3 and the 4 number carbon. In that 4 number carbon, OH and the hydrogen, they are the same configuration with there. So glucose and the galactose, they are the different monosaccharides, and the carbon number 4, that is having the single specific number of the carbon, and they have the configuration 1, where glucose and the mannose, they are the different two monosaccharides, in that the carbon number 2, 1 and the 2 number carbon, where the specific carbon atom, they contain the same configuration. So they are the known as the epimers. Glucose and galactose, they are the known as the epimers, where the glucose and the mannose, they are the known as the epimers. Interconversion of the epimers is known as the epimerization, and the group of the enzyme known as the epimerase enzyme. Next, enantiomers. Enantiomers are the special type of the stereoisomers that are the mirror images of the each other. Enantiomers, that means the stereoisomers that are mirror images of the each other. Diastereomers, they are the used to represent the stereoisomers that are not mirror images of the another. Enantiomers, that means stereoisomers that are mirror images of the each other, where diastereomers, that are the stereoisomers, they are not mirror images of the one another. Next definition, anomers. The alpha and the beta cyclic form of the D-glucose, they are the known as the anomers. Alpha and beta cyclic form of D-glucose, that is the known as the anomers. Next definition, mutarotation. Mutarotation is the defined as the change in the specific optical rotation representing the interconversion of the alpha and the beta form of D-glucose to an equilibrium mixture. Mutarotation, that means the change in the specific optical rotation when the interconversion of alpha and the beta form of D-glucose to an equilibrium mixture. Next, reactions of the monosaccharides. The first, that is the reducing properties. The sugars that are the classified as reducing or the non-reducing sugars. The reducing property is attributed to the free aldehyde or keto group of anomeric carbon. The reducing sugar and the non-reducing sugar, where they are the type of the sugars. The reducing property, that means free aldehyde in the keto group of the anomeric carbon. Anomeric, that means anomers. Anomers, that means the alpha and the beta cyclic form of the glucose. In the laboratory, many tests are employed to identify the reducing action of the sugars. In the lab scale, we can identify the reducing action of the sugar. Likewise, the reagent used for the reduction property of the sugars, that is the Benedict test, Fehling test, Barford test, etc. The reduction is much more efficient in the alkaline medium than it's the acid medium. The enediol form of the sugar reduce cupric ions of the copper sulfate to cuprous ion, which form a yellow precipitate of the cuprous hydroxide or the red precipitate of the cuprous oxide. When the copper sulfate is added to the sugar solution, that is the converted in the enediol form. The enediol form, that the convert the cupric ions of the copper sulfate to the cuprous ion, that is which form the yellow precipitate of the copper hydroxide and the red precipitates of the cuprous oxide. So this is the reaction of the sugar for its reducing property, where the enediol, that is the when the sugar reducing, that the enediol form. Next property, that is the oxidation property. Depending on the oxidizing agent used, the terminal aldehyde or the ketone or the terminal alcohol or both the group may be oxidized. Example, first, oxidation of the aldehyde group result in the formation of the gluconic acid. The CHO group, that is the aldehyde group, that are oxidized, it gives the COOH, that is the gluconic acid. Second one, oxidation of the terminal alcohol group leads to production of the glucuronic acid. Depending on the oxidizing agent, the terminal aldehyde group or the ketone group or the terminal alcohol, they are the oxidized, which gives the different one the product. If the aldehyde oxidation is formed, then it gives the gluconic acid, where the oxidation of the terminal alcohol group, then it gives the glucuronic acid. Next, reduction property. When treated with the reducing agents such as sodium amalgam, the aldehyde or the keto group of the monosaccharide is reduced to corresponding alcohol. When the reducing sugars, they are the reducing agents, they are the added into the sugar, they are the converted into the different product. Example, D-glucose, that is the converted into D-sorbitol. D-galactose converted into the D-dulcitol. D-mannose converted into the D-mannitol. Here the reaction is given when the sugar, that is reduced, then it gives the its reduction form. So, aldehyde group when reduced, it gives the alcohol, then hydrogen at the attached to the carbon and gives the different one product of the sugar. Sorbitol and the dulcitol when accumulate in the tissues in large amount cause the strong osmotic effect leading to swelling of the cells and certain pathological conditions. Example, cataracts, peripheral neuropathy, nephropathy. Mannitol is used to reduce the intracranial tension by forced diuresis. When in our body the sugars they are reduced and converted into the different product one, that sorbitol or the dulcitol, when accumulate in the tissue in large amount, it gives the some osmotic effect which leads to the swelling of the cell and some certain pathological conditions. Next property, that is the dehydration. When treated with the concentrated sulfuric acid, monosaccharide undergo the dehydration with the elimination of the 3 water molecules. Thus, hexose give hydroxymethyl furfural while pentoses give the furfural on dehydration. These furfurals can condense with the phenolic compounds, that is the alpha naphthol, to form the colored products. In the dehydration, when the concentrated sulfuric acid added to the sugar solution, it eliminates the 3 water molecules. When hexose gives the hydroxymethyl furfural and the pentose sugar gives the only furfural, then that furfural condenses with the phenolic group, especially alpha naphthol, that form the color product. This is the chemical basis of the popular known as the molystase. In case of the oligo and the polysaccharide, they are the first hydrolyzed to monosaccharides by an acid, and this is followed by the dehydration. This is the general reactions of the molystase, that is the dehydration property of the monosaccharide. D-glucose, which have the hexose sugar, when concentrated sulfuric acid is added to the sugar solution, it eliminates the 3 water molecule and converted into the hydroxymethyl furfural, where the pentose sugar, that is the D-ribose, added the sulfuric acid, it eliminates the 3 water molecule and form the furfural. Next, oxazone formation. Phenylhydrazine in the acetic acid, when boiled with the reducing sugars, the first 2 carbon, that is the carbon number 1 and the carbon number 2, are involved in the oxazone formation. The sugars that are the different in their configuration on these 2 carbons give the same type of the oxazone, since difference is the mass by binding with the phenylhydrazine. Thus, glucose, fructose, mannose give the same type, that is the needle-shaped oxazone. The reducing disaccharide also give the oxazone, that is the maltose, that is sunflower-shaped, lactose, that is the powder of shaped oxazone crystals. In the oxazone formation, the phenylhydrazine in the acetic acid solution is used, where the carbon of the sugar, that is the involved in the oxazone formation. The glucose, fructose and mannose give the same type of the oxazone, that is the needle-shaped crystals, where the maltose and the lactose give the different one shaped crystals, maltose sunflower shaped crystals and the lactose powder puff shaped crystals. Here is the reaction of the oxazone test. Glucose, that is react with the phenylhydrazine, it gives the glucohydrazone, glucohydrazone that converted into the glucosazone. Formation of the esters. The alcoholic group of the monosaccharides may be esterified by the non-enzymatic or enzymatic reactions. The alcoholic group of the monosaccharide, they are esterified by the enzymes or the non-enzymatic reactions. Esterification of the carbohydrate with phosphoric acid is a common reaction in the metabolism. Glucose 6-phosphate, glucose 1-phosphate are the good examples. ATP donates the phosphate moiety in the ester formation, glycoside bond formation, and the mutarotation may also be referred to as these are also the characteristics property of the monosaccharides. So these are the property of the monosaccharides. First, reducing property, second, oxidation property, third, reduction property, fourth, dehydration property, fifth, osazone crystals, and sixth, formation of the ester. These are the 6 properties of the monosaccharides. Thank you.